All right, are you ready?
Yep.
Hi, I'm Chris. Welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're going to work with dates, one of my favorite superfoods. We are going to create a gluten-free oat square, which as a kid, someone might have called matrimonial square. And as a kid, if you were like me, you hated it and were really unhappy when your grandma brought it over. But since I've changed the way I eat, I absolutely love it. And then we're gonna do a date brownie as well, which is to die for. And I'm just realizing that both of these recipes are gluten-free. So if you've got gluten-free aunts like I do, it's a good thing to go with. So I got a few things that I need to sort out logistically. I buy my oats bulk in a big giant bag, and they are rolled oats, so they're the next step after what do you call it, stone ground oats. They've had that one roll, but they're not broken up or anything. Well, the first thing we're going to do is make some flour. So I want to do that while my food processor is dry, and then we'll move on to the date paste, which we will use for the oat square, and then we will do the brownie, which needs to mix with some chocolate. So we don't want to have that chocolate in our first square. So the first thing I'm going to do is preheat my oven to 350, which it's a good thing it's a little bit cooler today, so that shouldn't be too much of an issue. So move some of the ingredients aside that I don't need. I'm going to go to my recipe, which I found online at Nadia's Healthy Kitchen. We'll put the link below for you. I want 1 cup of oat flour and 1 cup of oats, which is what I really like about this recipe. It's chunky. I love oats. I love granola. I like my oats to have some bite to them. So for the date square, we're basically gonna use dates, some seasoning, a little bit of baking powder. We're gonna use some peanut butter, even though the recipe calls for almond butter. I've got some salt and some coconut oil and some vanilla, and of course the oats. So I have a fabulous bulk food store. That's where I buy my 10 kgs of oats, and I also buy just some, what do they call them? Dates, pitted. So there should be no pits in these. So about a half an hour ago, we took some dates and we poured hot water, boiling hot water over top, and I'm just gonna use those juicy like that to make my paste. Now, the nice thing about date paste is it goes everywhere, on your toast, in your tea. I really like date paste, and I use the syrup that is now forming on there. I use that for iced tea, for any kind of liquid beverage that I want to have. Works quite well. I highly recommend it, and it's got so much fiber in it that it just cranks up the nutrition level for you. Okay, so first thing in our dry food processor, we're gonna do some oat flour. So I don't really care about measuring, so I'm gonna get a couple. I just have to end up, if I can get it all in the bowl, if I just end up with a couple of cups of flour that I can use, that would be great. And you'll have to ignore the big giant fly that is flying around. So we're just gonna give this a whiz. So you can see the consistency is still quite large, so I would like it to be a little bit more powdery. So we're getting there. It's still a bit chunkier than I would like it. So you can see there's still some grains there. This, because of its ninja blades, which are awesome for chopping, they're not really great for milling. So I'm okay with chunky, but if you've got one of those other machines that will actually grind that right down to a powder, that is awesome too. So there's my flour. I am going to put it in something else because I don't want all of that. Where did my cup go? So my recipe asks for 1 cup of oat flour, I'm going to use this mixing bowl today. So there is my 1 cup of oat flour. So we're actually making the base of the square. All right, and then to that, I want to add another cup of oats. And 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Baking powder. I always have to double and triple check and make sure I've got the baking powder and not the baking soda. So 1 teaspoon. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Whoop, I think I have a 1/4 here. 1/4. Whoop. Salt. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Cardamom. We want 1/4 teaspoon of cardamom. And then we want to add, I haven't quite decided what I want to use for sweetener on this one. The recipe asks for 2 tablespoons of granulated sweetener. And then it says like xylitol, which I'm not really a big fan of all the chemical stuff. I'd rather put honey or maple syrup in it. But I'm actually thinking, because we're going to use peanut butter, that will be sweet enough. So I'm going to put 4 tablespoons of coconut oil. Maybe I'll actually measure it. Just today. Oh, and it's warm enough in here that it's nice and soft. So maybe I don't even need to microwave it. I don't think I do. So normally I would liquefy it in the microwave. Whoop, there's our oven. My peanut butter. 4 tablespoons of Any kind of nut butter that you like. Or a seed even would be nice. Oh, a sesame seed butter would be good. And it's firm because of course I have keep my peanut butter in the fridge. Yum. So I guess I didn't really need to use the measuring cup. I was planning on putting it in the microwave. Yeah. And then we'll give it a quick taste and see if it tastes sweet enough. And if we don't like it, we'll...
Yeah, I'm gonna come in there.
Okay. So this is gonna be our nice firm base of the square. Kind of smushing it all together.
Smushing.
Smushing. A little bit crunchy to the mushy sounds today. I've already had requests for t-shirts that have the mushy sound on it. Okay, so there we've got like a nice crumble that will stick together, and when we bake it, it'll bake up nice and firm. So they want us to save some of this topping to go on the top of the dates. So I'm gonna put about 2/3 of this in our pan and then press it down. I have my glass pan here with some parchment paper, mostly because I'm just lazy and don't want to clean up so much. Okay, I don't know about you,
Not a lot.
but I think we're making a double batch. I've got... It's a good thing we made all that extra oat flour. So I'm just gonna do all that again because that looks too chintzy to me. And we will double this recipe. What do I want? I want to start back up here is my oats. I want my baking powder. And you'll notice that all of these ingredients came out of my pantry. So it's not like you have to go shopping and find anything fabulous. It all is right there for you. And if you're not happy with oil, I would sub it for applesauce or a mashed banana. I'm pretty sure I've made this with bananas before. So again, remembering to hold some back for the top. There, that's gonna feel better. So now this is about a 1/2 inch on the bottom of my pan here. So that'll make for a nicer bite and it won't fall apart when you go to pick it up. Bit of a smooth just so it's the same. All right, now I can put that aside while we do our dates. Okay, so we've doubled the bottom. We should really double the middle too, right? So we want 1.5 cups of dates. Best way to scoop that will be what? With my slotted spoon so I don't lose out on any of that fabulous liquor that's in there now. So I'm gonna do 3 cups of dates. There's 1. When you go to the link on the recipe, and if you have a smaller pan, then just keep in mind that I have a bigger pan, so I've doubled this, right? So there's my 3 cups of dates, which smell fantastic. They smell like really yummy brown sugar. And there they go in my food processor. And to that, I'm going to add, that wants a cup of water, but why would I do a cup of water when I can do a cup of date juice, date nectar, if you will. Now, again, I'm doubling the recipe, so I should put 2 cups in, but I'm gonna wait and see, because those were so juicy, I'm gonna wait and see if it actually needs another cup of water. I'm not feeling very confident that it is going to. So, double a half is 1 teaspoon of vanilla and a pinch of salt. And then we'll whiz that up until it's a paste and build our square. Now, because these dates are bulk processed, I'm always looking for, or listening for clunks in my food processor, because that'll mean there's a pit in there. I usually will squeeze my pits to check and see if I can feel anything, but sometimes one sneaks past me and gets in my food processor. So if I hear something clunking, I'll stop it, see if I can't find it easily. So I just want to check and see if I need that other cup of liquid. I absolutely do not think I do. See how juicy that still is? And the dates are really nicely pulverized. So I'm gonna call that done and add it. Oh, the vanilla in that is spectacular. Ooh. So now the tricky bit is to get these blades out while they're suctioned onto the bottom without slicing myself. Back. How's that?
Perfect.
So now I'm just gonna scoop this on top. And this will bubble and caramelize. Trust me, if you haven't tried matrimonial squares since you were a kid, you need to try this recipe. Again, I just want it to be kind of even. And then I'm going to crumble the rest of my topping on top here. Sure that everything's covered. I don't want to miss a drop. Maybe we should also have a t-shirt that says I don't want to miss a drop.
I feel like Aerosmith would sue us.
Is that an Aerosmith song?
It's a thing.
Alrighty. Oh damn, there's still... Just because I think I can get away with it, I'm gonna add more oats. These are gonna toast up on the top and bubble down into that. You can add as little or as much as you like. Oh, I can't wait to eat this. But we have to bake it first. Let's bake it. So the recipe says 20 to 25 minutes. I betcha we're gonna wanna bake this for about 30. So I'm just gonna pop that right in the middle of our oven. Off to the side a little bit, but on the middle rack, because we got another pan going in there. I don't really think I need to run my knife down the side of this one, but I will. Trying to think of how I'm gonna slice this one. So the oats on the top are a bit loose. Which is all right by me because they're lovely and toasted. But I have to press quite firmly to break through that cookie on the bottom. This will be fabulous with your afternoon tea. Feels nice and crunchy on the bottom, which we like. We like to have lots of different textures. All right, I will grab a flipper.
Pull the parchment paper out.
I could, but I'm worried that it's gonna go everywhere. And it did not.
The brownness on the outside looks good.
The what?
Brownness on the outside looks good.
Excellent. There we go. Just add this to our dessert plates, which is very full of brownies. Some very nice sized pieces in there. Oats are flying everywhere. Check that piece out.
Wait.
Still quite warm. Peanut buttery. Nice and oaty though.
Peanut butter and oaty?
Peanut butter and oaty. It's just so good.
Describe good.
It's just good. It's excellent.
Put that on the package, I guess.
That it's excellent?
Yeah.
So that's all I'm going to be able to fit onto our plate today. But try those recipes out. They're so full of fiber, so full of nutrients, and so good for you, and your family will really, really appreciate them. Thank you for hanging out. Give us a thumbs up and hit subscribe below, and we'll see you next week.